It's a rivalry of mind and spirit as these 8 players cast their cards, dueling for control and the ultimate achievement in a sport of skill, strategy, and the luck of the draw at the Magic the Gathering World Championships.
In the 1990s, the world saw the birth of collectible trading card games, beginning with Magic the Gathering, and soon after, the cultural icon, Pokemon. These card games gained immense popularity and became, and still are, retail phenomenons, racking in millions of dollars in profit during their peak years of sale. Although enjoyed by all age demographics, a particular goldmine was found in young children that loved the act of collecting the cards and the surprise element in the packaging. However, despite never necessarily intending to target one gender demographic over another, Pokemon and Magic the Gathering both tended to have a predominantly male demographic. Danish therapist Gitte Oder observed this in her kids and had an idea to create a different kind of trading card game that combined the collectible element of Pokemon and the downloadable pet craze that could be found in Neopets and Webkins, but aimed at a female demographic. And what do young girls tend to love very, very passionately? Horses. Hi! If you don't know me, my name is Julia. I have never done a video essay before, but I've always wanted to, and so screw it, I'm doing it. Today we are going to dive into the beautiful, enchanting, wonderful world of Bella Sara. So come on, let's go! I hate that, never mind. Title card. Okay, so when I was a child, I loved Bella Sara cards. I don't really remember how I got into them. I just know that I have a lot of them. I was like a low-key horse girl, kind of. Like, I wasn't obvious about it, but I did find an old Facebook post from my mother asking if the neighbors knew any good horse camps, because I wanted to go to horse camp that summer. So that's a sign. Ignore the bite taken out of my pop filter. I didn't eat it, I promise. So in my own personal experience, I know I collected the cards, I played on the website, I made a friend just because of Bella Sara. I think it was like our moms were friends and they introduced us and we were both awkwardly standing there until I went to her room and saw that she had Bella Sara cards and I was like, hold up. We can be besties. So, some of you may be wondering, what is Bella Sara? Bella Sara was a collectible trading card merchandise similar to Pokemon, but instead of a whole variety of special animals, it was just specifically special magical horses. Each card had a horse or some other element of the Bella Sara world and a positive affirmation on the bottom. There also was a code on the bottom that you could log into the website and then you could virtually play with your horses. Personally, I just liked the cards. I liked the pretty horses and playing with my imagination with them and imagining I had all these horses. And I liked the website, but I really didn't pay much attention to the actual story and lore behind this, which there is lore. We'll get into it. So we're going to explore all of this today. We're deep diving into Bella Sara. I have been researching Bella Sara for the past 3 months. My Instagram has started giving me ads for horse games because it thinks I am a 12-year-old horse girl now. So let's begin with the history, how this came to be.
Hello kids, I'm the creator of Bella Sara. My name is Gitte and I'm from Denmark, where I live close to my family on this beautiful island.
Bella Sara was created by Gitte Oder, or sometimes referenced Gitte Oder Brendengard, in 2005 to be a place of joy, peace, and love. According to the fandom wiki, Brendengard has 3 children and was inspired watching her son collect cards like Pokemon, while her daughters were uninterested. Gitte is from Denmark and worked as a social worker, caring for mentally disabled young people, which inspired her to want to create something that could both entertain and inspire them. The official Bella Sara website references the core values of Bella Sara to be the life-enriching values: honesty, empathy, and compassion. The first version of the trading cards were published in September of 2005 by the company Concept Card under just the name Bella. The company Concept Card was created by Oder herself just a few months prior to the release of Bella, so its sole purpose was Bella cards. The cards themselves were sold first in Denmark and then Norway and Sweden, not reaching the US until March of 2007. Now, let's pivot to talk about Hidden City Entertainment and Peter Atkinson. Peter Atkinson was the founder and CEO of Wizards of the Coast, which gained its success from the creation of, drumroll please, Magic the Gathering. The company also eventually gained ownership of the Pokemon trading cards, so they basically were just dominating the trading card industry at that time. Wizards of the Coast was sold to Hasbro in 2001, and Peter Atkinson went on a sort of temporary retirement before being recruited by Hidden City Entertainment. Hidden City had been created to develop a chip-throwing game entitled Clout Fantasy before enlisting Atkinson. Atkinson then scouted Bella in Seattle, and they signed a 5-year licensing agreement to publish and market Bella under a new name, Bella Sara. In 2007, Hidden City discontinued Clout Fantasy and lived and breathed Bella Sara. So with that background information out of the way, let's take a look at what these trading cards actually entail. The Bella Sara trading cards were produced from 2005 to 2017. They were organized into sets or series, and depending on the series, each set can include common, regular, rare, shiny, item, lenticular, and or promo cards. The types of cards themselves are pretty self-explanatory, but just to go through them kind of quickly. Common cards just have one or more horses with an inspirational message and are very easy to obtain. Regular cards, I don't know the difference between them and common. I don't know, they're labeled differently. I don't know if it depends on kind of when they came out. Rare is self-explanatory. They're just rare cards. Story cards are a subset of regular cards that tell the events of the series. Shiny cards are super rare, shiny cards. Promo cards can only be found at special Bella Sara events or in select merchandise. And lenticular cards have 2 interchanging images in the front and a description on the back. So the Bella series consists of just Bella, Bella Gold, Bella Copper, and Bella Wise Warriors. The Bella Sara series, sold in the US, consists of Bella Sara Second Series, Bella Sara Northern Lights, Ancient Lights, Mythology, Native Lights, Magical Friends, Baby Bella, Treasures, Royalty, Bella's Ball, Sunflowers, Moon Fairies, Starlights, Spring Carnival, Summer Camp, Winter Festival, The Best of Bella Sara, Magical Chibis, Heard from the North of North, and Foals. However, Foals was a prototype that was made and advertised in 2012, but it was never actually released or offered for sale for some reason. I can't figure out why. That being said, some prototypes have made their way to collectors, which makes them incredibly rare cards. Although there was no actual physical game to the cards themselves, like Magic or Pokemon, the cards had symbols in the upper right corners that could be used to play simple card games, such as Go Fish, which I never knew existed. The symbols, not Go Fish. I know the game Go Fish. I also would like to highlight this little activity card that I found in my collection of Bella Sara cards, in which on the back it describes Bella's game. To play Bella's game, you mix the cards and arrange them, picture side down in front of you. Sit still and relax. When you are ready, take a card. Take time to look at the picture and read the text. The horse's message can be helpful for you. It can help you think positive, peaceful, and loving thoughts towards yourself and other people. Let these positive thoughts stay with you in everything you do. So it's using the Bella Sara cards as tarot cards. Kind of, in a sense. It's like letting the universe pick which card is meant for you that day. I also would like to highlight that there are horse riddles. Let me tell you a few of these riddles, you guys. How long should a horse's legs be? long enough to reach the ground. Okay, let's try another one. What's the quickest way to mail a little horse? Use the Pony Express. Is that a real... Okay. What are the only animals to sleep with their shoes on? I wonder. How many horses have 3 legs? They all do. Like, I know it's meant for kids, but like, come on. You guys couldn't do any better than that. So as previously mentioned, one of the card options that you could receive were story cards. But what was the story to be told? As I previously mentioned, I never really knew the lore of Bella Sara. I never looked into it that much, but I knew that it existed. And when coming up for the concept of this video, I knew that it was something that I had to touch on. And oh my god, it is so much more specific than I thought. I didn't even write it all down because it can be its own video, and there's just too much to talk about, and I don't want to be talking for a solid 30 minutes just about the lore of Bella Sara. So basically, the lore of the North of North, as kind of the world is called, can be found in trading cards, books, media content, and the website. Most notably, the entire PDF of the Bella Sara Ultimate Guide that was released in 2009 can be found online. There also are a series of videos that were produced at some point entitled Emma's Adventures, and upon watching them, I think one person voiced every single character.
You may be a Roland Colm, but you are not a Valkyrie. The orchid is a Valkyrie symbol.
Well, you're not really a Valkyrie yet either.
With our help, she will be soon.
It's story time, and I present to you all The North of North, a tale of love, evil, and horses. Abridged version, because I don't want to edit a 3-hour-long video. The North of North began as a normal island, with no magical horses and no magical beings. There were normal horses, with the leaders being a white mare named Bella and a midnight black stallion named Bello. Sara was the daughter of 2 gods that settled down for a quiet life on the island when she was born, and as she got older, she explored and fell in love with nature. When she got old enough, her parents basically said, "You can be a goddess now." But a goddess of what? She wondered. Sara and Bella had a little cute meeting that resulted in love at first sight, and when Sara stroked Bella's neck, a burst of energy sparked between them, magically uplifting Bella, making her the greatest of her kind. From then on, Sara was the immortal goddess of horses. This magical process was bestowed upon all of the horses, and they became the first generation. As magic spread through the North of North, animals became turned into magical animals, and herds were formed out of the first generation to protect different areas and uphold different values. They're like divergent factions, but multiply them by 5. But look, an antagonist, an evil witch wanted control of the first generation. The guide says her name is Feral, but the videos say Ivana, and a card I have says Ivana, so I don't really know which is which, but I digress. She began kidnapping the horses, so naturally Sara went to save them. Her elaborate plan to save the horses worked, but in a fit of rage, Feral went and killed her parents. So in a Disney movie turn of events, when Sara found her parents, she collapsed with grief so intense that she stopped aging. She then proceeded to cry for hundreds of years until her tears made a magical pond that grew the big world tree of the North of North.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
Anyways, after that little tangent, the horses' magic grew stronger when they drank from Sara's poor lake of sorrow filled with her tears, and a group of women called the Caregivers arrived to the North of North. They were brought to Sara by Bella and became her new family. They all received horses, but Feral wanted her own entourage because killing Sara's parents wasn't enough. She just had to take her surrogate family as well. She planted seeds of doubt in the Caregivers and stole a bunch of them over to her side to become wolf riders. However, unsurprisingly, always saving the day, Sara saved them and horses grew wings? Okay. She gave the caregivers a castle and granted them immortality, and they became the Valkyrie Sisterhood, each choosing a different area of the North of North to protect. Sigga, a caregiver who had just fallen in love with the North of North, remained there to protect the North. Stuff just gets more chaotic and confusing from here. It goes on to a bunch of different tangents because now there's all these different areas to explore and all these different caregivers, and there's just so much going on. There is an immortal storyteller named Fable. She tells the story of Sigga trying to save a prince that she fell in love with, but she can't interfere with life and death. So by saving him, she was allowed to marry him, but they had to part forever, which I don't really understand, but okay. And Sigga was banished to Earth, where they could only have sons. So they were married, but they had to part, but then they were banished to Earth and could only have sons that would technically carry on their bloodline. I feel like it should be the opposite, but like, okay, whatever. Kids don't think about this. Since Sigga left and she was the protector of the North of North fell into dark times. And then 1,000 years later, there's an 1,000-year time jump here. Sigga's many greats-granddaughter was born, and her name was Emma. She was the first daughter of the line because, remember, they could only have sons. Emma came to the North of North, and Bella and Sara began their mission to help Emma redeem her family's honor. And then, shockingly, that is not all of it. I cut out so many details and other miscellaneous lore that doesn't have really a solidified place in that kind of summary. Much of this other various lore came from the books, which leads me to a quick tangent. There are 12 Bella Sara books, all published by HarperCollins between 2008 and 2010. I remember I had at least one of these books, but I don't remember if I had more than one, and I really don't remember which ones. But clearly, other people were very passionate about them, as this comment on the wiki describes one individual's search for Pepper's quest. I'm going to read this like it is a monologue. Orpington Chicken on December 4th, 2013 says, microscopic rant. I can't find Pepper's quest. I am feeling physical, burning, torturous pain from this. I mean, I have found it on Amazon, but it's $30 when you include shipping and handling. Okay, I will pay $30. Now, if only my parents would let me buy stuff online. Why? Why, Barnes & Noble? Why? Why? Why don't you have this amazing fanfic-inspiring material for us? Later. Ooh, the website. Yes, it must be here. Even later. What the hoof do you mean out of stock? By the name of fucking Celestia, I thought this was the Bella Sara website. Okay, no Conal's Pack sequel, just some prequel. What does my online self even live for anymore? Oh my god. So obviously kids were passionate about it. This was not me making fun of them at all. I was a Warrior Cats kid. I 100% wrote stuff literally just like that. I love that paragraph so much. Besides the books and the lore and the cards, what a lot of people remember is where you redeemed your codes. This was the Bella Sara website or Bella Sara Adventures. So all of the cards produced up until 2009 had a code on them where you could go online and redeem said code to have your own online version of the horse. This was taking inspiration from the virtual pet models that were pretty much taking over the internet and captivating children of the early 2000s. On what is referred to as the classic Bella Sara website, you had your horses you collected, minigames, and Bella Sara Adventures. Bella Sara Adventures was a story-driven element of the website that allowed the user to be given a quest to restore magic to the North of North. These adventures were also activated using code cards called horseshoe cards that were provided in all series packs after treasures. For me, however, I wasn't a huge fan of adventures themselves, as I was more interested in kind of just taking care of the horses and decorating my house. After downloading and gaining access to your horse, each one had their own stable that correlated with the type of horse or the pack that they were from. These included traditional, foals, air, or water. Each horse had their kind of typical need meters to maintain, so stuff like hunger, cleanliness, and happiness. And in the stable, you could feed them and brush them and give them water and play mini games. It was the perfect pastime for a child that begged their parents for a horse, but their parents said, "No, we live in the middle of the suburbs, we're not buying you a horse." And then the house was also very enjoyable because it was just like designing your house in Webkins or your igloo in Club Penguin. The original cottage came with 2 rooms, but you could buy other doors from card codes or by visiting the bazaar. Now, the bazaar is genuinely one of the reasons I wanted to make this video because it stands out so clearly in my mind. I missed my opportunity to say the bazaar is bizarre. So, that's me making the joke now. Shut up, it's good. It's something I loved, but I just did not understand. My modern day equivalent was walking into the B&H store in New York City and like loving all the technology and film stuff there, but I could not tell you what like any of it meant. The bazaar was simply the shop where you would buy things to decorate your house with. However, many of these items resulted from the lore or the storyline of the plot itself. If research was to be done, it would be very easy to figure out kind of where each item originated from and the story behind it, but I was 10 years old, so it's forever just stuck in my head as just random stuff that I was like, that's weird that that's there, let's buy it. So, on the different categories. Doorways, flooring, furniture, home decor, holiday, and wall hangings are all fairly straightforward. Knickknacks are interesting. I mean, they're mostly just small horse figurines, which I guess checks out for a game for a bunch of horse girls. Toys is self-explanatory. I personally love all the little plushies. Look at these guys. Stop, they're so cute. I want them in real life. I want all of them. Wonders are just described as various magical things. I don't understand what half the stuff here is. In my notes, I wrote, "An app exists," because I fully was intending on getting the Bella Sara app. However, it's $3. And I know $3 really is not that much, but I have $18 in my bank account. Maybe if I had a job, like, I would, but I simply don't. And from looking at it, it looks like it's just an app that shows you all the cards offered through Bella Sara. Like, each day you draw a card of the day and collect new cards. It's a virtual card collector for $3. I have cards. I'm not gonna get that. I'm sorry. So along with the trading cards and the books and the Bella Sara Adventures website, other merch and expansions to the company were made, with some being more successful than others. In 2009, Porchlight Entertainment partnered with Hidden City Games to license Bella Sara for a TV series and long-form film content. As far as I can tell, this show was never actually made. I can only find the article announcing the partnership and then nothing past it. However, in 2013, the movie Emma's Wings was just released by the company. It is debatable if it was successful or not. It had a limited budget with no large production company behind it, so the result was super low quality, and it has a whopping 3.8 stars out of 10 on IMDb. In fact, the entire thing is on YouTube for just like anyone to watch for free. So this video does well. I'll do a video watching and reacting to it. On the wiki, it also said music, and I got really excited because I thought there was like a bunch of original songs that were written that were like, I go through the sky with my horse, like some stuff that was like really specific to Bella Sara. Like I'm talking like the Webkins original music, you know? But when I clicked on it, it looked like it was just the soundtrack for like the game, which like I guess makes sense, but it's a little disappointing. Other various entertainment forms were explored. There was a PC computer game and a DS game that I did indeed have, although I don't have the actual game anymore. It seemed to kind of just follow the same format as Bella Sara Adventures. A lot of people talk about how it kind of gets old pretty fast, and there's not much to do except for collecting cards to collect more horses and take care of them, which is the exact same as the website. Other examples of merch include bags, clothing, water bottles, window clings, albums, collectabands, stickers, tattoos, Valentine's Day cards, coloring pages, desktop wallpapers, magazines, craft kits, stamps, board games, plushies, puzzles, sand toys, toy horses. Oh my god. There was a lot of merch. So with a largely successful website, a super popular trading card game, a lot of merch, what happened? Why does nobody know about this company? Why does nobody really remember or know Bella Sara? Honestly, the downfall of Bella Sara is very self-explanatory. It's a fate that, most children's toys and games and merchandise face. According to Google Trends, the search Bella Sara seemed to hit its peak in the US in December of 2008, which makes sense because that would be when parents are Google searching the brand to buy for their kids for Christmas. But after that, it was pretty much just a slow decline over the years, with a small peak always happening in December, until 2015, where it just consistently stayed stagnantly low. Again, it's unsurprising because it's kind of just what happens with toy brands. They hit their peak, and then that peak demographic grows up and moves on, and unless they find a way to evolve and capture a new demographic of kids, they get pushed out of the spotlight by some other company that kids become obsessed with. A child's attention span is incredibly short, so in order to keep a child entertained for an extended period of time, these companies have to really grow and evolve. The company was pretty much putting out merch and earning acclaim for around 5 years, until the end of 2011 when things just started to travel downhill within the company itself. If you happen to remember, Hidden City Entertainment had struck up a 5-year contract with Bella Sara, and their contract was up. Without any other company that they were backing, Hidden City Entertainment simply shut down, and in its place, Bella Sara LLC was founded. This only lasted for a couple of months before it also shut down. At the same time Bella Sara LLC was founded and failing, company founder Gitte Oder Brandengard left Concept Card, and Lily Condrup joined as their director. Concept Card continued to look after the brand until July of 2013, when they declared bankruptcy. Concept Card shut down in February of 2014, but Bella Sara itself was still staying afloat, and Bella Sara company APS was founded. In 2015, the last card pack to be promoted, Foals, had a promotional release, but the card pack itself never saw shelves. At the same time, the beloved website was experiencing some issues due to just a lack of general maintenance and quality control. Things like poor picture quality, low frame rates, and non-functioning stories are all listed as elements that were causing players a lot of issues when people were trying to play the game. The site would be shut down several times in 2016 and would return only to have the same pre-existing issues. Despite this, it remained active until the death of Flash and the reboot of the website itself in 2020. Despite all of this apparent downfall, the company itself is still afloat. School supplies have been released each year since 2019, and according to the websites, new individuals have been hired onto the team, so they're still trying to keep the brand afloat. Despite the company itself still being afloat, with new employees hired, not much has been heard from Bella Sara in recent years. Since beginning my research on this video, each time I'm in a store with a wall of trading cards, I scan it for that familiar packaging of a magical horse, but I have not been successful yet. Like I previously mentioned, Bella Sara kinda just met a fate that a lot of toy companies meet. That being said, it was a really great and wonderful thing for kids. It was a company that was founded on a basis not of capitalism, but of kindness. It's been so fun to do this video. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, share it with your friends, give me ideas of more things to talk about, and I'm going to randomly draw from the Bella Sara card stack and give you an inspirational message to be on your way. Boom. Ooh, Cygnus. She's like a swan. Brighten your life by surrounding yourself with music. Aw.